Yeah, so that led to us encouraging Aunt Shirley to come here because I knew she was plagued for a long time with a decade of severe depression and very high blood sugar numbers, not responding to medicine that was making her sick. So she quit taking the medicine a year or so ago. And when she arrived here, her numbers were running 300 most of the time. And then she can tell you about her diagnosis and how that felt and what she's doing now.
My numbers always high, even on medication. And they kept increasing the metformin and the glimepiride, and insulin was next. And I said, no, it's so I just tried my best to eat the best way I knew how. Yesterday morning, it was 140. Yes.
Yes.
And it's all from the good Lord keeping me walking the straight and narrow and sending cricket into my life again. I'm going to start crying.
Praise God. You mentioned in one of our calls recently that you had a major mindset shift during this time. We would just love to hear more about it from your lips, like how things have changed from the inside out for you.
Oh, emotionally. Well, to be truthful with you, I can't remember it. It's gone. If I was to try and put into words about the state of depression and about how I could never do anything right, and it didn't matter what I did or how I would go about it, it always should have been some other way, some other time. I wasn't good enough to describe those feelings. I can't, because they're gone. They don't exist anymore.
Wow. Tell us about the state of your physical health when you got out there and some of the wins that you've had over this past, you said it's been about 6 weeks?
Yes.
7 weeks today.
7 weeks today.
Awesome. 7 weeks. All right.
Okay. When I first got here, they had 2 steps the size of cement blocks up into their home. I had to hang on to get 1 step at a time to get up into their home. Now I just go up and down them, and I climb mountains, and we go on 2 to 3 mile walks, and it's everything physically, thanks to mentally.
Amen.
I can accomplish all this. It's been a wonderful experience. I've never experienced anything like this before, where all the women, even though we're all over the place, are still like a unit of one.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the goals that you've set and been able to accomplish in this time?
I think the first goal that we set was just to be very committed to the 21 days. So we were processing through that. And then individual goals were to be less concerned about the actual numbers that we're reading than just following the program and allowing that flow to go up and down, because understanding that it took her decades for her body to get in this condition, it's going to take a little while for it to recover completely. So those were goals. And then we set physical goals, like just walking around the yard when we first started. And then we set a date a week or so out that we were going to start walking on the street a little bit. And then we made a mile, and then we made 2 miles, and then we stopped at 2 miles, and we've gone getting that time faster. So 2 miles in an hour and 45 minutes. We did 2.6 miles in an hour.
Wow.
And her goal was, before she left, we have a desert trail that's pretty rough, and it's 0.8 of a mile up through the wash and 0.8 of a mile back down the ridge.
Wow.
And she wanted to accomplish that before she left, which is on Friday this week, and we did it last week on Tuesday.
Woohoo!
The whole trip.
Go Shirley, go Shirley. That's so awesome.
And we certainly are giving God the credit, because to recover that much physical ability in 7 weeks, and that's the reason that we chose this program when we were looking for things to do, because We were so blessed to have Devin and Delia as our coaches to work our way through it. So we think it's been well worth the while and the investment in our lifetime experience. But the reason we chose this program was because it was so spiritually Christ-centered as well as phys-centered. And I knew as a coach that that has to be the center as well as flow.
So far, what you've experienced of the program, what stood out the most for you?
The prayer devotion that we would meet and everybody would pray. That was fantastic for me.
Such an anchor. Amen.
God's going to use her in a mighty way to be a witness in the next group and for the next session. And there's somebody else who doesn't have hope who's going to gain hope from her story.
Amen.